So, hello there. This is a follow-up, a quick follow-up even, to yesterday's video where we did some things with this wheel or rim. I've been to the bike shop, I've got some rim tape. I'm not sure how well that's gonna, or rim tape. Yeah, it is rim tape. I call it rim tape. You might call it rubber, because it's not actually a tape. It's a little bit narrow, this one that I've got. It's 26 by 1.5 or 15 millimeters wide. It probably, for this particular rim, should be maybe 19. So if it moves, there is a little bit of a channel there. Yeah, you can just see that it's right on the edge of exposing some of the holes for the nipples, so if it moves, potentially we could have similar problems to what we had before in terms of punctures. So I'm just going to very quickly pop this tyre back on, maybe talk a little bit about the valve. I might just go and get a visual aid for that. But let's start by getting this together somewhat. Oh, by the way, I patched this tube. Don't know if you maybe saw that in yesterday's video. Didn't film, well I did film, but I didn't show the patching because I've done patches before. It's kind of fairly obvious. Let's see how I'm checking the valve and the hole. You want those to line up quite well, shall we say. So, try and do this on camera for you. So where the tube is sitting, it's going quite well compared to where the valve hole is. More on this later. Ideally, when you're mounting a tyre, you want to be doing it without using tools. Helps if you can, and obviously not applicable if you live somewhere where it's not particularly sunny. But if you can leave it out in the sun for a while, it just helps you with the overall flexibility of the tyre. Oh, I thought that was going to go. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. There it goes. So the valve. There he is. Now I'm just going to go off and get a visual aid and pop it on the ground in front of the camera, hopefully. Hopefully we're still recording. We are. So back to my story about the valve. I had one of these the other day. Where are we? Can we see that? We probably can't see that, can we? Oh no, maybe. At there where it says the valve should be at 90 degrees to the rim. That's very important. Also on here it's showing you that your rim tape should be centered, which is where probably I started talking in the first place. So very important, the valve is at 90 degrees to the rim. If it's not, if it's on a slant, it will tend to tear. So that next image, boy, yeah, if it's like that, it will tend to tear the tube around the valve base. So, visual aid. So pumping up. Hopefully we've got the tyre mounted the right way around. Generally tyres want to point in the direction that they're going. A little bit of controversy about whether a front wants to do that or not. These tyres are marked, I don't know, again how good it shows up in the light. These are marked with the rotation, and some will say rotation front, some will have two arrows on them, a rotation front and a rotation rear. This one only has a rotation arrow, and it's saying that the tyre wants to go that way, which is the direction of the tread. I don't think that rotation on a mountain bike tyre is critically important. However, I always mount my tyres the right way round. Does that make sense? So we want to bead up this tyre, which means basically we want to start by pumping it up fairly hard so that it sits nicely on the rim. Somewhere on the tyre here it's going to say what its max pressure is. It appears to be just there, and it's 55 psi. So we're going to go for that to start with. You might hear it make a sound, you might not, or it might not make a sound, but we'll just pump it up to that 55 psi to start with. It'd be nice if I could just stand up on its own. There we go, that'll do. So, there we go, 55 psi. So our valve is not straight. So we need to do something about that. And unfortunately what we need to do is we need to let all the air out, and we need to move the tyre around a little bit to straighten up our valve. So our tyre wants to go that way a little bit on the rim. You might not. You might be able to see it move, might not have moved, but there's only really one way to find out, and that's to blow it up again and see where we're at. So there we go, 55 psi again. Where is our valve? Is it straight? It looks reasonable from what I'm seeing. could go a little bit further. Could go a tiny bit further, which I might just do, but so what I'm doing here is I'm just breaking the bead where the bead has maybe gotten into the kind of hooky bit of the rim. Once I've been around there once, I should be able to just move that more by pulling back on the wheel than anything. I'm only looking to move it the tiniest amount, so that's probably and goes a plane for good plane sound effects. Yeah, so that valve now is exactly where we want it to be. So just filming this as a little extra sort of outro to the video. This is the wheel that I was working on the other day. I've replaced 3 nipples on there, undone 3 spokes and done them back up again. And as you can see, there's absolutely no wobble in that wheel. The tyre is a little bit of a wobble in the tyre, but that's more a tyre issue than anything. So yeah, tick tick tick, there you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.